Hi, I'm Josh Abbott, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can set up a server to meet the requirements for the LFM software using EasyApache 3. So inside WHM, I'm going to click on Software, and then I'm going to click on EasyApache 3. To make sure that I start out with a clean installation, I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to use the profile Basic Apache 2.4. Now I'm going to want to customize this, so I'm going to click on this icon that looks like a gear, and then I'm going to go through the wizard. So I'm going to want to make sure that Apache 2.4 is selected, and I'm going to click Next Step, and then I'm going to select PHP 5.6, then I'm going to click Next Step, and I want to make sure that IonCube 5 is checked, and then I'm going to hit OK. So I'm going to make sure IonCube 5 is checked. Then I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. Then I'm going to click this button that says Exhaustive Options List. Now I'm going to go through this list and I'm going to make sure that some of the required items are checked. I'm not going to uncheck anything, but there's just a few things that I want to make sure are checked. So I'm going to scroll down the list. And the first thing I'm going to check is IonCube 5. I'm going to make sure that that's checked. I'm going to want to make sure that GD is checked. I want to make sure that mcrypt is checked. I'm going to make sure that MySQLi or MySQL improved extension is checked. Then I'm going to click OK. I'm going to want to make sure that OpenSSL is checked. I'm going to make sure that TTF free type is checked. And then I want to make sure that zip is checked. And after these are checked, I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom, and I'm going to click Save and Build. I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to click I understand. And now this process will take about 10 to 15 minutes, so I'm going to pause the video, and then once this is done building, I'm going to start up the video again and go over a few more things. Okay, so when it's finished, you should see a box that looks just like this. And I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to make sure that default PHP version is set to 5. I'm going to make sure that PHP 5 handler is set to SUPHP, and I'm going to make sure that Apache SUEXEC is set to on. And after that, I'm just going to scroll to the bottom, and I'm going to click this button that says Save New Configuration. And that's it. That's all I need to do. So now my server should be ready for me to install the LFM software. Okay, so now I'm going to go over a few advanced settings that aren't required, but they can help things run a little bit more smoothly. So back at WHM, I'm going to click on Service Configuration. I'm going to click on PHP Configuration Editor. Then I'm going to go into Advanced mode. Now again, none of this is required, but if you're comfortable working with these settings, then tweaking a few of these settings will help things run a little bit smoother on your site. So I'm going to scroll down the list. The first thing that I want to check is display errors. I want to set that to off. And then the next thing is error reporting. And I'm going to set that to all and not notice and not deprecated. So that's where I recommend setting for error reporting. For max execution time, I recommend setting this to 300. And then for max input vars, I recommend setting this to at least 100. Right now it's set to 1,000, and that should be more than enough, but make sure that that's at least 100. For memory limit, I recommend setting this to 128M. So that's 128 megabytes. And then for post max size, I recommend setting this to 64M. And then finally, for upload max size, I recommend setting this to 64M. So the things that I recommend changing here are display errors. I recommend setting that to off. Error reporting, I recommend setting that to eAll and not eNotice and not eDeprecated. For max execution time, I recommend setting that to 300. Memory limit, I recommend setting to 128M. Host max size, I recommend setting to 64M. And then for upload max file size, I recommend 64M. And then after that, just click Save. And that's all you need to do. So now you should be ready to install LFM on your server. If you have any questions, then please contact our support desk and we'll be happy to help. Thank you.